Hello, people of the internet! Welcome. I am KICdude, and today we are talking about something a little bit different. There's been a little bit of a spike in the YouTube community just lately, at time of writing, of course. Basically, there's been a little bit of a spike that has to do with a lot of just basically people, fans, going up to YouTubers' houses and just inviting themselves in. PewDiePie made a video about this, and I'm not sure how the laws are expressed over there, but, and, Whiplash Snake made a video about this, but he didn't touch upon some points that, people don't understand. I don't know if Whiplash Snake is in the Americas, or if he's anywhere else. If he's from somewhere else, shout out, man, your American accent is great. But I will say there are some things that, people here in the United States have to know. And I think this is just generally as a consensus that people do have to know this, just in general, I didn't plan to do two of these kind of videos back to back. I promise Wednesday will be a different video. I promise. But really what happens is, hey, listen, we don't want you in coming to our house or our place of business to even just to say hi. Listen, that's why we go to cons, we go to these things, just to let you know that this is why this is happening. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's just because I don't want you to do it, but there are, in America anyways, there are very specific things that kind of are out there, and when trespassing is very much a need-to-know thing, like if you can be or cannot be on somebody's land. Well, in America, there is a private and public sector. Now, as soon as you are on the sidewalk, you're in a private and a public sector. When you step onto somebody's lawn, that is immediately someone's private sector. Alright? You cannot step onto somebody's lawn without consent by the homeowner, unless it is towards the street. You know that bit of grass that's between the sidewalk and the street? If you have one, that is public. You can be there, and no one really cares what you do there. That's fine. The driveway is a private driveway. If people park on the side of the street, they're parking in public, but they are able to do it through the homeowners association and stuff like that. The only reason I'm saying this is because people think that just because you're a fan, or because you are somebody who, hey, I really care about this person, let me go and say hi. Listen, we don't know who the hell you are, and as a person who only has like 45 subscribers, this is kind of crazy, because I want to entertain, I want to do these things, and it's kind of shocking to me to even think that somebody is out there wanting to come to my house. That is weird. It is weird because I want to meet you guys 100%, but I don't want to do it unless it's like a meaningful, I'm sitting there for 2 hours saying hi, what's up, let's go to this place, or just in a park, we play frisbee for a while, we talk, we chat, I answer some of you guys' questions, I sign some things for you guys. That's kind of the thing I want to get up to, as a small YouTuber. I don't think it's even remotely possible that anybody knows who the hell I am. But that's fine, I'm going to go ahead and just say that that's something that I really would like to see, but at the same time, there are so many people that are just like, just because a YouTuber has his address found, that's his address. That just recently, these last few weeks, have been blowing up with people being like, I know these things, and I'm like, that's weird. Like Leafy himself, in his video, was like, oh yeah, you all have all these addresses in the bottom in the description.
Hey mom, this is just, Calvin in my closet,
Just Calvin in your closet? What the fuck? Here's the creepy thing, by the way. This video was uploaded to YouTube, right? And in the description, there's a bunch of house addresses. And I'm not gonna say if any of them are actually correct, because I don't want to get stabbed. But yeah, just to add a little bit more spook onto this whole entire thing, she, of course, has a bunch of addresses in there. Which, by the way, aren't even my addresses. Like, I know you guys think I'm bluffing. Like, oh, he just realized that he indirectly just, admitted that that's where he lives. No, they're actually not my addresses. I do not live in Utah. Nice try, though.
I don't know why your fans are like that, but I guess just because the something about the Lizard King, and I guess they're just creepy. Something, I don't know. Anyways, I will just say this though. In the United States, there are laws, like I was saying before, that have to be met in order for there to be, trespassing. And I'm just letting you guys know that if you come on, if I become big, that's a big if, because right now in YouTube it's very fickle that you get big, or even if you get any type of exposure. But if you get big on YouTube and people come to your house and you don't want them on the property and they still stay there, that is, not good. All right. That is not good in the slightest. If you have a studio, like I guess the Rooster Teeth people in Austin get this a lot, that people just go to their studio and just want an autograph. People, you don't understand that it's a business, right? That they have to do things to make you guys happy so you guys can see it. They go to cons, they go to these things, they have meetings, they have all this stuff laid out so you guys can go meet them. Let your YouTubers meet you at a place of their choosing. Don't go and force yourself upon them, okay? We don't know who you are. Just like PewDiePie said.
Picture it like this. I don't know who you are, but I know that you found my address online and thought, hey, I'm gonna invite myself over. From my perspective, that's just insane.
It's because people are like crazy fans now. It's really something strange. Oops. It's really something strange that it happens. I don't know what it is with people, but they really do like to go ahead and love on their creators, love on the people who make them content. But if there is no knowledge that you're going to somebody's house, or no intent that they have the information that you're going to be there, then there is no expressed content. And if there is no expressed content, then you are deliberately violating the law. Okay? That is not even close. Alright? And there is no implied content with people saying, I would love to meet all of you guys. There's no implied content because they did not say, I would love to meet you guys all in my house. No. If there is something that says, oh, we're going to a con and I would love to meet you guys there, then obviously there's going to be a business, there's going to be a big thing, going to be so many more people than just one person at their residence, and it's going to be awkward as hell while the cops come and take you away. I'm sorry, that's my thinking. I don't want you on my property, all right? Just knowing right now that there's people looking for Leafy, looking for Markiplier, looking for the Game Grumps, looking for Rooster Teeth, looking for all these vloggers for just a chance to be in maybe a video, maybe they'll mention them, maybe this and that, maybe they'll throw a picture up on Twitter, for that flash fame that comes with maybe one thing, That's a 1% chance of a 1% chance of a 1% chance that'll ever happen. If people from Rooster Teeth haven't made it more clear that it's very hard to keep track of everybody's names, just look at RTX and the one that they made pre-RTX. They made something very vital for this year. And people, Jack was on it and he had a question come up that said, should we do this and should we do that? RTX. And Michael himself said something very interesting, and I'll let him take it away.
At Gamma Games, this is pretty good. Says, is it okay to bring gifts to signings at RTX? Some people said bringing gifts to panels isn't always the best idea.
I know people obviously want to give it to us personally, but like your odds of us getting it and us keeping it are way better if they're in a box for us, because it's like you hand us something on stage and we're like, oh, thank you, but then we immediately have to go somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else, and all that happens anyway is somebody takes it from us anyway and puts it in our box.
Yeah.
And put your Twitter handle.
Yeah, put your name on the back of it.
Your name and your Twitter handle on it.
If it's artwork or anything.
Thank you for it.
Now, some people may say that that's a little bit different. There are people that are big and they have a convention all to themselves, but at the same time, there's a lot of other people there. There's maybe Mega 64, there's Screw Attack, there's the Creatures, there's the freaking Funhouse. There's a bunch of people there. And just to say the least, there's a lot more people that you think are going to be there than you would have ever expected. So that's the reason they're telling you,
Expecting, I'm going to meet all these people, and they're like, I'm going to meet, Bernie and Jeff and
here's the thing you got to understand about that.
Hunters.
You will definitely meet all of those people.
God damn.
It's a joke. It's not true.
Yeah.
Or like,
don't go expecting that, because if you go expecting that, then you're inevitably going to be disappointed.
But yeah, absolutely don't expect to physically meet someone, interact with them one-on-one. And even if you do, odds are it's going to be like, hey, how are you? Quick. I try to have a conversation with everybody, but again, there's 59,000 other people that, we're trying to talk to.
And they're fine with meeting people. I understand. You have to understand that they're fine with meeting people. But that is the golden thing. that YouTubers' houses and YouTubers' places of work are just their private sector, man. Their place of, like, this is me. You know, I wouldn't like it, all right, if I got big and someone came ringing my doorbell singing, hey, can you sign this? And by the way, I know where you live now. That's basically the thing, you know. If I become big on YouTube, I never want to see you guys at the footstep of my house. Never, okay? You guys need to stay away from my house. And that's scary to think that that's a thing that's happening now, though. Now, a famous celebrity, let's say, for example, Sylvester Stallone. People say that, oh yeah, he has a big old Hollywood house. He's a big one. And everyone knows where it is. Yes, everyone knows where it is. Do you think it would be cool to go ahead and try to break into his open his gates, go up to the stoop of his door, and knock on his door and say, how's it going? Hey, Mr. Stallone, this is my impression of you. And what do you think that he will do? What do you think he's going to do? He's going to call his own security and have you walked off the premises, all right? This is the same thing that could happen if you just go visit somebody randomly in the house. I don't like people knocking on my door to hand me pamphlets, all right? It's just rude. It's just different, all right? I don't want people coming up to my house being like, hey, this is something about your heart. You can go and do it. I could take care of my own heart, okay? Don't come to my house bringing that mess to me, okay? If I get cholesterol, that is my problem. Oh, but seriously, though, you really, 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 really should take care of yourself. Diabetes is a serious issue. And like I've said, I know I'm not going to make a difference in just because I'm one of the smallest YouTubers right now, but I gotta say something. It's kind of, I feel like it's a pressing thing that might happen, you know, that if you don't set the precedent now, there will be consequences later, you know. The Rooster Teeth people have said that there's people that come into their place of work and pretend they work there just for an off chance to meet the people that they like. There's people all over YouTube, including Boogie, that have said that, hey, some fan actually walked to my house and said, hey, they may have been a creep. They may have actually, you know, that there was a YouTuber that went to be a famous singer, and you know that big thing that happened a couple months ago, where basically a YouTuber was straight up shot 4 times by a crazed fan who had an obsession. We don't know if you're that person, okay? We don't know that. All we know is by some logic you found our address or somebody's address and went to their house. I'm sorry, but if you think that's respectful in any way, then don't follow somebody to their house, all right? Anybody, you know, the slow-mo guys, the freaking Matthew Santoro, anybody, any big YouTuber, grade A, under A, anybody, all right? If anybody is out there that says, hey, listen, I don't want you at my house, don't go to the freaking house in the first place, all right? Telemarketers, door-to-door salesmen, and everybody knows this for a fact that as soon as you knock on the door and you want something from the person in their own home, nobody's going to give you anything, okay? Nobody, all right? You may get that 1% chance that we're nice enough or somebody's nice enough to say, sure, let's do it. But in the off chance that that happens, you're not going to get any response. You're not going to get anything fined. You're probably going to get kicked off the premises, and then you're going to feel sad, and then you're going to feel really crappy because now the YouTuber you like, you're going to have a bad impression of him because you met him at his house. Now, who's dumb here, all right? There was no intent, no knowledge that you were going to get to his house, and he did not tell you to come to his house, so there's no express. You couldn't have possibly met a worse time to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go invite myself to his house. No implied consent. Nobody in the world invited you over, so you shouldn't even go, okay? So, like I said before, Whiplash Snake made a video about this. PewDiePie made it, not PewDiePie, he's going to kill me now. PewDiePie made a video about this. He made just a 2-minute video, but I feel like I had to go ahead and tell everybody that there's a law for trespassing. Nobody should have to tell you there's a law for trespassing, all right? That is dumb, okay? Nobody should have to tell you that you shouldn't go to somebody's house when they don't want you there. All right? There's the same reason their restraining orders are filed. There's the same reason that there was somebody with a house that owns a private sector. And I don't know if it works in different countries, but that's how it works in America. All right? There's a trespassing. If you trespass, you can literally be kicked off the premises. And because there's a protection against you, you can fine them or have a restraining order put up against them. All right? Now, you may not want to do that, but if this person seems a little bit then you might want to go ahead and think about that. Now, Whiplash Snake made a video about this. PewDiePie made a video about this. I figure maybe some other YouTubers may make a video about this, but they didn't touch on some points. I feel like it's really important to touch on this subject because it is really, really important to figure out who is who in this battle, okay? It's very important. Are you the person that is creepy and is going to this person's house when they don't want you there and is specifically targeting them and being like, hey, listen, I'm just gonna be creepy and go to your house? Or are you that one cool fan that's like, hey, I'm just gonna respect this guy. When he's at a con, I'll go to that con. Or when he's having a meetup, I'll go to that meetup. It's free. Think of it that way. If that made no sense to you and I'm talking gibberish on my butt, then take it that way and I'm the crazy YouTuber with a mask. But just think about it, okay? Nobody wants you on the property. Just leave it at that. If you guys, for some reason, like what you see today, love me and I'll love you back. Because I will see you guys next time.